What's going on? It's facts you don't know. If it's your first time here and you want to find out new facts that will definitely make you smarter and more well informed, make sure to subscribe and activate the notifications bell so you don't miss anything.
This is the story of an admirable mother who was not overcome by the difficulties of life and knew how to get ahead for her and her children. The story is viral. This is exactly what happened to 27-year-old Australian mom Charlotte Sapwell after her marriage fell apart. Ending a marriage is bound to take an emotional toll on both parties. Unfortunately, that can sometimes only be the tip of the iceberg. Many people, especially women, are left solely responsible for taking care of their kids. Of course, granting custody is a victory, but supporting a family can be a challenge without two incomes, and even harder if they have nowhere to stay. Minnie House, which was built by a woman with two children with her own hands. After the divorce, Charlotte was left with two little boys in her arms. She had nowhere to live, and the choice was either to live with her parents or to build her house. She had a little money, her savings, and a certain amount from her ex-husband, but she did not despair and firmly decided that she would build a house. It was very difficult for her, but she managed. As a result, she turned out a mini house in which 3 people can live quietly. People often joke about the younger generation not investing in home ownership. However, skyrocketing real estate prices are usually more of a barrier than any matter of a personal choice. The result is an adorable tiny house on her grandfather's property, one that she and her 2 young boys can be proud to call home. But Charlotte decided to use ingenuity to build her own place to live. Instead of asking for a mortgage loan that would borrow her for more than $400,000, she built with her own hands a house in her grandfather's backyard. It was created out of necessity. I had to keep a roof over my children's head, and we had an old house on my grandfather's site where we created a home there. She's a master craftsman, and since she had no choice, she was ready and willing to learn. That was part of the agreement. I had to learn to use the tools, she said. With the help of her grandfather, Charlotte built a 3x6 house in 5 months, which cost her only $13,000, including tools and materials. Once finished, Charlotte moved to her new house with her 2- and 6-year-old child. We will always live in a small house. Honestly, I would not live in a large one. My goal is to save enough for a plot of land and build another small house after I pay my grandfather. It was created out of necessity. I had to keep a roof over my children's head, and we had an old house on my grandfather's site where we created their home, said the mother. She's a master craftsman, and since she didn't have another option, she was ready and willing to learn. That was part of the agreement. I had to learn to use the tools. She admitted that she was never good at carpentry, and she was not sure she'd be able to build something she could live on. However, she succeeded. And the best part of all this, she doesn't owe money to the bank and can fully concentrate on caring for her young children, ages 2 and 6. In fact, Charlotte and the children are so in love with her little house that she's seriously thinking about using it forever. We will always live in a small house. Honestly, I would not live in a large house. My goal is to save enough for a piece of land and build another small house after I pay my grandfather. She also says that her children love living in the dream house. Charlotte was eventually able to overcome her husband's mockery after she lived through a bitter divorce and a lack of financial resources. Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video in social networks. We'll be right back to you as fast